U.S. presidents who were really weird people. If the 2024 presidential race proved anything, it's that a touch of eccentricity or outright weirdness seems to come with the job. Throughout American history, the men who've held the nation's highest office have often displayed quirks and peculiar habits that are as memorable as their policies. From unusual hobbies to shocking personal behaviors, these presidents remind us that even the most powerful figures can be profoundly unconventional. Here's a look at some of the strangest characters to ever occupy the Oval Office. Number 1. Abraham Lincoln, bartender and businessman. Before Abraham Lincoln became the 16th President of the United States or penned the Emancipation Proclamation, he briefly earned a living running a general store and bar with his partner William F. Berry. The venture faced a major challenge. Berry was a notorious alcoholic. In 1833, Berry secured a tavern permit for their store, allegedly forging Lincoln's signature in the process. Lincoln, who disapproved of selling alcohol by the drink, found this arrangement untenable, and their partnership soon dissolved. For about 3 weeks, however, customers could visit Berry and Lincoln in New Salem to buy farming supplies or fabric and enjoy a peach brandy or Holland gin, possibly served by Lincoln himself. After Berry began consuming the profits, Lincoln sold his share to him, only to inherit the store's debts after Berry's death. Lincoln worked as New Salem's postmaster to repay the obligations, learning a valuable lesson about mixing business with friendship. Number 2. John Quincy Adams, skinny-dipping diplomat. John Quincy Adams, the 6th U.S. President, had an unconventional way of managing stress: early morning swims in the nude. His daily ritual began at 5 a.m., when he'd strip down and dive into the Potomac River. This practice was both a moment of peace for Adams and a surprising quirk for a public figure. His habit was no secret. In one notable incident, journalist and royal reportedly intercepted Adams mid-swim, hiding his clothes until he agreed to an interview, a creative approach to journalism. While Adams saw his swims as a way to stay healthy and clear-headed, the public viewed his routine with amusement. Interestingly, he wasn't alone. Other presidents, including Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, and John F. Kennedy, also enjoyed swimming, though not always in the same fashion. Adams' penchant for skinny dipping is a humorous reminder that even serious leaders have their eccentricities. Number 3. Grover Cleveland, the executioner president. Before his presidency, Grover Cleveland served as Erie County Sheriff in the 1870s. During his tenure, Cleveland was obligated to personally carry out executions, a duty he approached with grim resolve. In 1872, he executed Patrick Morrissey, convicted of murdering his mother. Cleveland's decision to perform the execution himself instead of delegating it to his deputy, Jacob Emmerich, earned him respect for his sense of responsibility. Despite his stoic demeanor, the act deeply affected Cleveland, and he reportedly fell ill afterward. His willingness to undertake the unpleasant duty instead of shirking it illustrated his commitment to public service, though the experience left a lasting impact on him. Number 4. Thomas Jefferson, public speaking phobia. Thomas Jefferson, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and the third U.S. President, was a masterful writer but a painfully shy speaker. Known for his reserved nature, Jefferson struggled with stage fright throughout his life. John Adams once remarked that he never heard Jefferson utter 3 sentences together. Jefferson delivered only 2 speeches during his presidency, his inaugural addresses in 1801 and 1805. Attendees of these events reportedly strained to hear his faint voice. Modern psychologists speculate that Jefferson may have suffered from social anxiety, making his political success all the more remarkable. Number 5. Lyndon B Johnson, proudly flaunting jumbo. Lyndon Baines Johnson, the 36th President of the United States, is remembered for his transformative legislative achievements, such as the War on Poverty, the Voting Rights Act, and his controversial escalation of the Vietnam War. However, Johnson's legacy also includes some decidedly bizarre and eyebrow-raising personal behaviors, particularly concerning his unabashed attitude toward his bodily functions and private parts, which he nicknamed Jumbo. Johnson was remarkably uninhibited when it came to relieving himself. According to Robert Caro's The Years of Lyndon Johnson, if he needed to pee, he would whip out Jumbo without hesitation, regardless of the location, even in the parking lot of the U.S. House Office building. His disregard for social norms extended to conducting meetings from the bathroom. Johnson frequently gave dictation to his staff while sitting on the toilet, leaving the door wide open. While there's no direct confirmation that he maintained eye contact during these moments, the image alone is enough to make one marvel at his audacity. Marshall Frady, a book reviewer, recounted even more shocking anecdotes. If another legislator entered a public restroom while Johnson was finishing his business, Johnson would often turn around, expose Jumbo, and proudly ask, "Have you ever seen anything as big as this?" This was not an isolated behavior. Johnson was also known to adjust himself in public with remarkable frequency. He would reach into his pocket, scratch or rearrange his genitals, and jiggle things around until he felt comfortable, all with complete nonchalance. These stories paint a vivid picture of Johnson's crude and domineering personality. Number 6. George Washington, Whiskey Tycoon. George Washington, revered as the first U.S. president, was also a successful businessman. In 1797, he established a distillery at his Mount Vernon estate, which produced over 11,000 gallons of whiskey annually by 1799, making it the largest distillery in America at the time. Washington emphasized moderation despite his entrepreneurial ventures in alcohol. He once warned his carpenter, Thomas Green, about the dangers of overindulgence, remarking, "An aching head and trembling limbs are the inevitable effects of drinking." His distillery remains a testament to Washington's ingenuity and business acumen. Number 7. Andrew Jackson, parrot with a potty mouth. Andrew Jackson, the 7th U.S. president, was known for his fiery temper and colorful personality. His pet parrot, Pole, reflected this disposition. Jackson reportedly taught Pole a vocabulary of profanities, and the bird's antics became legendary. At Jackson's funeral in 1845, Pole disrupted the solemn occasion by unleashing a torrent of curse words, prompting its removal. Whether the parrot learned from Jackson or was intentionally trained remains debated, but the story epitomizes Jackson's larger-than-life character, blending humor with his infamous volatility. Number 8. William Howard Taft, bathtub legend. William Howard Taft, the 27th U.S. president, was America's heaviest leader, weighing over 330 pounds. The legend of Taft getting stuck in a White House bathtub has persisted for over a century. While there's no concrete evidence of this incident, Taft did commission a massive bathtub for his use, measuring 7 feet in length and capable of accommodating multiple men. The custom-made tub was later installed on the USS North Carolina for his travels, illustrating how his size shaped even the most mundane aspects of his presidency. Number 9. John F. Kennedy, health struggles and medication secrets. John F. Kennedy, often celebrated as one of America's most charismatic and vibrant presidents, secretly endured a lifelong battle with numerous debilitating illnesses. Behind his confident demeanor and photogenic charm, Kennedy suffered from conditions like colitis, prostatitis, Addison's disease, and severe osteoporosis in his lower back. According to historian Robert Dallek in his book An Unfinished Life, John F. Kennedy, 1917 to 1963, these ailments left Kennedy in constant pain. To manage his symptoms, Kennedy took a staggering array of medications, sometimes as many as 12 at once. These included painkillers like codeine, stimulants like Ritalin, thyroid hormones, and even anti-anxiety drugs to counteract the side effects of other medications. During critical moments such as the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Bay of Pigs invasion, Kennedy's reliance on medication was particularly intense. Despite this, he managed to maintain an image of strength and vitality, successfully keeping his health issues a secret from the public. Dallek noted that Kennedy feared revealing his vulnerabilities would damage his political prospects. This meticulous concealment, combined with his resilience, adds a deeper complexity to the legacy of America's 35th president. Number 10. Calvin Coolidge, Vaseline breakfast ritual. Calvin Coolidge, the 30th U.S. president, had a peculiar health practice. He believed slathering petroleum jelly on his scalp while eating breakfast in bed promoted vitality. Coolidge's eccentricities earned him the nickname Silent Cal, reflecting his reserved personality. While unconventional, this habit exemplified Coolidge's reliance on personal rituals for well-being. Despite his quirks, Coolidge's presidency is remembered for its focus on minimal government intervention and economic growth during the Roaring Twenties.